Here at Happy Foot Sad Foot headquarters, our success is driven by a relentless focus on quality and continuous improvement, and we're constantly striving to raise the bar and exceed our customers' expectations. We believe that numbers never lie, and if we stay accountable and take ownership, if we celebrate wins but don't get complacent, if we learn from our failures and mistakes and focus on the big picture, small wins can lead to big victories. Now that we've made it through Q1 of the MLS season, it's time for the official Happy Foot Sad Foot quarterly review.
Click on the next slide in the keynote.
Next slide, please.
There's no song. There's no.
Oh, it looks like it didn't sync.
Okay.
You didn't carry over the fonts.
Are you on AirPlay? Did you AirPlay?
Is this a Samsung?
Are you on the same Wi-Fi? Yes, this is Samsung.
Did you have an Android?
What input? Change the source on the TV, though.
Hey guys, we need to all be using Outlook. I know some of you don't like using Outlook, but we need our email signatures to all match.
Yeah, and we can sync calendars better.
Mm-hmm. Having a job is all about syncing. I would say
Yes.
syncing is the most important thing to do.
You got to sync up everything.
You got to touch base. You got to sync. And then you also have to see things from the 30,000 foot view.
Yeah. You got to make sure you're aligned.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And ideate.
Well, that's what we're going to do
on
here.
this season so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's use all the words. Aligned,
It's time to circle
ideate,
back to our
bandwidth.
first.
What's your bandwidth
I don't have a
like
lot
right
of
now?
bandwidth right now. I got to be honest.
Don't. God,
I do not. I never have bandwidth. I'm always here despite a lack of bandwidth.
Mm-hmm. Darren's really putting his best foot forward, but he is, I do think we need to have maybe a company retreat so that Darren can let loose a little bit.
Yeah, I could use an all hands or two.
Wait, that's
what?
not a huh?
What?
Just sounded wrong. It just was wrong the way you said it.
I just want to be touched.
You want a handy?
I just want a hand at my job.
Yeah, you just.
Yep. We'll just leave that there.
Okay, let's go. Let's do the segment. Before
Okay, let's start with the LAFC fantasy draft. The biggest thing of the year, every year. We have each drafted 4 LAFC players to our squad. If you caught our season preview, if you didn't, I'm here to review it right now. I could say, give us more views. Go back and watch the first episode, but I'm not. Okay, this is about you, the viewer/listener. We each drafted 4 LAFC players to our squad. Whoever has the team before with the most total goals at the end of the season will win 1 free bacon-wrapped hot dog outside of the stadium. Now, traditionally, in this game, Denny Bouanga has been off the market, but in our first ever segment within a segment, the pre-LAFC Fantasy Draft LAFC Draft Rules debate, we officially deemed Denny Bouanga on the market for 2025, except for penalty goals.
But he doesn't score those anyway.
Which did not factor in last game. So, of course, Travis took him with the first pick of the draft, and we can see how it all shook out.
By guilting you.
Yes, Travis pulled the
dead dad card
and got the first pick of the draft.
Hey, when your dad dies, you get the first pick, bud. That's my promise.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun segment within a segment next year. Can Travis still talk about that? Can pull that card?
What's the statute of limitations on the card?
I can't wait to have that discussion.
Until one of you has someone closer to you die than your father, I get first pick, baby.
Wow, that really?
No,
he's not wishing it on us.
He's
just
saying
it could happen.
End.
I'm saying I don't want it to happen because I want first pick.
I don't know. No, I'm not saying I'm offended by it. I'm saying that seems like potentially way too long. Hopefully way too long.
Will they still have a team by then?
Look, I'm looking at these numbers right now. Let me tell you who's on my team.
I'd rather not look. I was going to say one other option before we do this. One other option is we could just skip this whole segment.
How about we just talk about the fact that I took Giroud and he actually scored a goal, so I should win.
Which is enough for me. Let's move on.
Giroud goals should be worth 3. So, is this the actual number for Bouanga without PKs? This seems high.
No.
Oh, you know what? I did not factor in PKs, but has he scored from PK?
He scored, I think, 1 PK this
year.
Portland.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're at.
So this should be this.
But we've been giving Denny Bouanga a lot of shit. It's across all competitions. 6 goals in the beginning of the season for the team. I also have David Martinez with 3, Igor Jesus with 0, but Mark Delgado did have an unbelievable goal with 1. That puts me at 10 total goals across all competitions. Let's see where my fellow competitors are.
We could not. Just once again, that is an option to not.
Dead last. I'm coming dead last both years, so I would like to see how you guys are doing so far.
That's
Vince,
an interesting
you wanna go
idea. We could review your scores from previous years.
next? We can combine them. It should be aggregate scoring.
Oh, I would love that.
Just remember the faith that I had in Drew, and he's now scored. I mean, I'm not saying that that's the reason, but I know he listens.
It is
to the
all there is
show,
to talk
and
about with your team.
He doesn't want to let me down. I mean,
I will say, remember we went on Soccer Wise and we all picked the over for Giroud over 12.
Oh, we'll get to that later. I did put that in the review.
Okay, good.
no, I didn't remember that until now. Thanks, Travis.
Oh no, we'll review
We
it
went
in
on
more
a
detail.
national show and said that.
I was
shit.
not
What
there.
is wrong with us?
They said it too.
Okay, so Vince, your team was Giroud, Abobasi, Hollingshead, and Odin Holm.
Yeah.
You do have more goals than one might think with that squad.
Yeah.
Giroud, Abobasi, and Hollingshead all with one goal. And honestly, I was surprised that Hollingshead only has one goal.
Yeah.
Aaron Long took all of his goals.
Yeah.
That's true.
Fucking Aaron Long.
So that's a total of 3 goals across all competitions for Team Vince. And then I have a team also. So let's move on to the next segment.
Darren, you're selling yourself short here. I think we need to go over your roster because I think you made some interesting picks here that are worth discussing. Why don't you say out loud?
I was pigeonholed into these picks.
You were not pigeonholed into the first pick. You were not pigeonholed into the first pick. And I
did YOLO the draft. I was tired of winning, and I YOLO'd the draft.
Okay, tell us who your first pick was, Darren.
It was Kike Oliveira.
And then what happened 12 hours later, Darren?
Kike Oliveira was murdered.
I believe by the time the episode came out, Kike Oliveira was no longer on the team.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think that's true.
While
I was editing.
I think while he was editing, to be honest.
Yeah. And now,
we warned him.
We did.
You can only edit so much, folks.
Darren, now, then you had Tillman, which isn't a bad second round. Now, talk to me about your third round draft.
Wait, Travis, not a bad second round pick. Currently 0 goals.
Okay,
well,
but
that's more
the
important.
team's been underwhelming in general. Yeah, so I mean, Tillman was probably a smart pick in that moment, at least.
Yes,
I would say 50% of the people in your roster are unable to score goals for LAFC. So Tillman is a smart pick in that it is possible for him to score.
Right.
Well,
right.
My third round pick, Antoine Griezmann.
Yep. We're not counting his goals.
We can all agree he's very good at soccer.
Yeah,
Taylor
he's back on the board.
He's back.
Taylor Twellman dropped the bombshell that Griezmann gate is not over.
It's over. We need to shut the fuck up. They're just using us as leverage still. If Griezmann comes this season, I will give you Denny Bouanga.
Really?
No.
I'll get Griezmann.
I'll give you
I'm good with Griezmann.
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay.
I'll give you Delgado. Yeah, he's like, I'll have the guy. I don't need it.
I'll trade you Delgado for Griezmann if Griezmann comes this season.
No.
Would you make that trade right now, though?
What? Oh. The bid is over. Now it's getting serious.
Because so let's go over your roster quickly. Because I do we have set a precedent last season. Last season, if you remember, I picked Griezmann to be on my squad.
Yeah.
And I think
true.
and then the year before I picked Messi.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But last year I was given.
And now you're giving me shit for this.
You did allow me to add, I believe, Carlos Vela to my. Who did I add?
No, you got Giroud.
I got Giroud mid-season. Yes, that's correct.
Which that didn't work out for you.
Which didn't help too much. Well, it's not mid-season. This is just Q1, guys. Okay, there's still plenty of time to turn this around.
You have Ordaz as well, and Ordaz
That's
somehow
right.
let me the final
Ordaz.
pick in the draft.
Ordaz the king. 3 goals on aggregate. I'm tied for second place, motherfuckers.
Players we picked above Nathan Ordaz, our best player this season: Tillman, Igor Jesus, Hollingshead, Griezmann, Delgado, Odin Thiago Holm, and then Nathan Ordaz. The disrespect.
I stand by Hollingshead.
I mean,
I stand by Ordaz.
I think
folks watching or listening, you're not going to hear me get any respect for the sleeper pick of Nathan Ordaz.
Well, he really was like the last player that scores goals that was available.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So, Darren, you're not going to make any effort to trade either of your players who can't.
I might in the next quarterly review, but for now, I'm sticking with my team.
All right. Well, we shall see. I think that means I have the most goals. Is that correct?
Yeah, you have by a margin of 10-3.
Okay, great. Just double checking. But 7 goals.
10-3 to 3.
You can make that up.
Yeah.
All you need is Giroud to score
Travis,
7 goals, Vince, and you're fine.
I think
Actually, we're giving Darren a lot of shit, and really, I should be taking the most shit. He has 50% of his team can't play, and I have the same amount.
and I'm still
That's
tied
true.
with you.
I just thought about that right now. Like
You had decent picks and can't score.
well,
Abobisi's
Abobisi's been hurt. Yeah, come on, bro.
I'm giving you a handicap.
And Owen hasn't played much either. Come, guys, let's go. Let's pick this up.
Yeah. I mean, Travis, I think you should be enjoying this while you can because we never know what Q2 is going to bring.
Once Griezmann comes, it's over for me.
That's what I agree.
All right, so that's the draft. What's next in the quarter?
Griezmann's going to come good.
Next slide.
Next slide.
Real good.
Next slide. Griezmann comes good.
I didn't do it this time. It was you guys.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, Travis, that is like a normal phrase that people say.
Comes good?
Yeah, to come good. That's like more than like UK, Australia.
I mean, Darren, I'm going to guarantee it's a normal thing that Travis says too, just not in the same way you and I are saying it.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. I also would say I can't, with it, having watched all the Arsenal I've watched this year, cannot with a straight face say Gooner. And not laugh. Every time I see the word Gooner anywhere, I'm like, I can't believe we're saying it. We're calling ourselves Gooners, guys. We got to change
sticking
it.
with that? Yeah, you got to give it up. Sorry, you've had it for 100 years, but you got to give it up.
It's over. It's over.
So we had some long shot predictions in the season preview and in the first few episodes. So we should check in on those because it's important to check back on the benchmarks and milestones. So
Darren's long shot prediction for the season is so funny.
Should we start with that one?
Yeah.
My long shot prediction for the season, which I'm not giving up on yet, folks.
Well, I hope it happens.
We all hope it happens. We're all rooting for me. It's that Olivier Giroud will win the Golden Boot.
Who has the most goals right now in MLS? MLS top scorer right now. I know Chicho was
it's probably
up there.
Brian White. Is it Brian White or am I thinking more
maybe.
about his CONCACAF?
Or no, it's Ty Barabo, right?
There's a tie right now between Hugo Kuipers in Chicago and Ty Barabo in Philly.
Yeah,
and
Ty started out hot and then like cooled off.
The Pokemon heavy Golden Boot race.
Yeah.
There are then
Kuipers and
7. Oh, we got to play that game. There are 7 people in second place though with 6 goals, just a goal off, including Arango, Surridge, Alonso Martinez, Kevin Donkey at FC Cincinnati, Joseph Martinez, Brian White,
Kevin
Donkey, Kevin Donkey, Joseph Martinez,
Kevin Donkey.
Kevin Donkey. That's not that off the pronunciation, honestly. Brian Wright and Evander. So there's a lot of.
What you're saying is it's wide open for Giroud.
And then at 5 goals, there's 9 more players. And a lot of them have Pokemon names: Navarro, Rossi, Mihailovic, Jovelik, Pasalic, Luna. Diego Luna, I never put 2 and 2 together that he's got the same name as the Endor guy. Can't get over it. Laf, Benteke, Alajuese, and yeah, that's it for 5 goals. So all we need is Giroud to get 4 goals, and he could be tied for 3rd.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to happen. This is just Q1 once again.
Game.
And we need
Travis,
all those
your
people
long shot prediction.
Score.
Yeah, that would be helpful too. If anybody's out there can make that happen.
Yeah.
We love to see that.
Donkey.
Travis, you made a long shot projection and then immediately abandoned it.
Yeah, I wish I made the first one.
Yeah, the first one's actually looking pretty good right now. You said San Diego will end the season with more points than the Galaxy and Earthquakes, and that's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah,
it looked even better a few weeks ago. But yeah, I think San Diego, I've always had faith in the squad they put together. And for some reason, teams in their first season in MLS tend to overperform. It happens every year. And I'm curious, like it's a trend now, right? We have them. St. Louis did it. Austin did it. We played really well. Cincinnati played really well. I do think
Cincinnati was not good in its first season.
No, Cincinnati
got golden or wooden spoon.
Wooden spoon.
2 years
and then they
golden spoon
got the following year got the supporter shield.
It is a recent trend.
Yes. So it is something that I think it didn't feel that out of the ordinary, especially with how good their roster was, but it was untested and young. But my real prediction was that the Columbus Crew will not make the playoffs. That I maybe thought was good for like the first 2 weeks of the season. That will almost definitely not happen. But yeah,
they're gonna have to have some catastrophe.
They look pretty good, I would say.
Yeah, they're okay.
Outside of losing to us, they've looked good.
Travis, you spend every show, you have a bet that you're confident in. And this was the first time I can ever remember you abandoning a bet.
I liked the idea that the Crew sucked more than San Diego was good.
It is a more fun idea.
Yeah. But I do think it was not as smart of a bet. What was Vince's?
Well, I would know nothing about that. So, Vince, your prediction was an MLS team will win the CONCACAF Champions Cup.
Now read the bonus.
As a bonus, I reviewed this week. You said, and I quote, "It probably won't be Messi's team."
Now, if you would have asked us if it would be the Vancouver Whitecaps at the beginning of the season, we would have said,
"It's right where my mind was
going.
going."
Yourself. Yeah, you were like, it's gonna be. They're gonna fire Vanni Sartini and somehow be the best team in Major League Soccer.
Big Tristan Blackman fan.
Yeah.
Every member of the Whitecaps are overperforming. It's wild how good they are this year,
including the coach.
It's true.
Yeah, he hasn't even tried to suck one dick.
I know. I guess in that sense, he's underperforming.
Yeah. We haven't played yet. We haven't played them yet.
That's right.
That's their storyline when we play them. Will their new coach suck Steve Cherundolo's
take on the mantle? Has the torch been passed?
It's the game after next.
Darren, Vince, this is a really good prediction from you.
This is looking good.
I feel pretty good about it. I mean, they will still have to play because the game's going on now. It is probably going on now, but it's Tigres and Cruz Azul. So two.
Okay, it's still in the 74th minute, still tied. 0-0. They're tied on aggregate. Do away goals count in the semifinals?
Yes.
So who has so they don't go to PKs. So who has where was the last game?
If they're tied 2-2, it's possible they could be.
No, they're tied 0-0. I'm sorry.
Oh. Okay.
Is it 0-0 on aggregate?
No, it's 1-1 on aggregate. Someone played.
Oh.
They're playing in the Estadio Olimpico right now. So that is whose stadium is that?
Cruz Azul plays, I believe.
Okay. So that means that Tigres.
Wait, who's listed first?
Cruz Azul is listed first. So that means
then they're home.
Cruz Azul is currently leading because they have the away goal at Tigres.
Yes.
So Cruz Azul is a much more beatable team than Tigres in my mind.
With Mateusz Bogusz at the helm?
Bogusz, I don't even think is in the lineup today.
What?
Wow.
I am going to be rooting for Bogusz so hard if he gets to the final.
Oh, yeah.
He's not
awesome. And I will be rooting for Tristan Blackman.
I guess so.
Brian White. Bogusz
the only reliable bet on this show, time and time again, is that Vince will always be right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Bogusz got subbed off in the 36th minute or subbed on? I can't tell.
Who did?
Bogusz.
Does he have a green arrow or a red arrow?
He has a green arrow.
Green means he's probably subbed.
He's been subbed out. Travis, did you just suddenly become unable to read a phone?
Wouldn't they adjust the lineup so that he's in the lineup at the top?
Oh.
He's not in the lineup at the top. He's on the bench.
That is confusing.
Travis, this is something we've never talked about, but I do have a bone to pick with a lot of apps. They don't move players in, and they don't also sometimes some apps will move them in but not tell you they were a sub. So you're like, wait, who was the starters?
Yeah.
Or they end the game and they don't show you who ended the game. It's the starters. Can we just have one uniform way in which we display this for everybody so that I don't have to make these guesses and check 5 different apps to figure out who
somebody
started the game?
Somebody could beat FootMob. FootMob is not a great app.
No.
It just is like the standard.
I don't know. It's better than other sports apps.
It is, but
but not by much.
Somebody could come and take it. Bogusz was subbed out in the 36th minute, so something must have happened if he came on in the 36th.
Wow.
So Vince, you might get to see your boy Tristan Blackman win a CONCACAF Champions Cup.
A couple other predictions.
There's a good chance, I think, that they would host. Well, it depends on how well Cruz Azul did throughout the group stages, but I think there's probably a good chance Vancouver would host that game, would host the final.
And Canada, famously a tough place to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So some other predictions.
Isn't their stadium called BMO too? BMO Place.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Oh, wait, that's Toronto.
That's Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Their BC Place.
BC Place, right.
Very old stadium.
Wait, is that where the Expos used to play back in the day?
No, Montreal Expos.
Oh, that's Montreal. Yeah. Anyway, some other predictions that flew around at the beginning of the season. Vince, you said there's a very real chance David Martinez could be the guy that breaks out this season the way Bogusz did. That still remains to be seen, it seems. I think we've seen flashes of that.
Still possible.
But like you said, this past week seems like inconsistent.
Bogusz
in a
was
way
our
that
most
Bogusz was not.
consistent player last year.
Yeah.
I don't think Martinez would have to do a lot more to be the new Bogusz. I would say.
Well, they all
Ordaz
have
is
to do a lot more
closer.
He
regardless.
still has a lot of time. Dude, if I don't know if you guys remember, Bogusz started the season, and even though he scored in the very first game, everyone was like, he's not a false nine. I hate him playing there, blah, blah. And then he goes and scores like 18 goals and has like, a handful of assists. And everyone's like, I told you, he's great. I love him. And it's like, okay, shut up.
Travis, do you know what a false nine is? Or
Yeah, I do. And I think you should explain.
okay,
it.
cool. Yeah, no, we all know. So
yeah.
it's fine. Travis and Vince, you went on SoccerWise, an international soccer
Ill-fated appearance.
internationally distributed, and the over under on Giroud goals was 12.5. Now, not only both of you, but also both hosts of SoccerWise took the over.
I mean, it's still possible.
It is absolutely.
He has
We're
been
just
more
a quarter of the way
active.
through.
I've
really
been
has.
happier
Yes.
with
A
him.
lot
the
more
last-
touches on the ball. Should have
That's
scored.
all that matters.
Yep, that's all that matters. He had a chance. He had a chance that he probably should have scored. It was a little bit of a half chance, but it's a volley from about 12 yards out that you would have probably bet on him scoring if you hadn't known he hadn't been scoring. If you just heard the name Olivier Giroud, you would have said, "Oh yeah, he could score that."
Given that it's still possible that he hits the over on this, do you want to risk looking like complete idiots? And would you take the under now?
Yes, I would take the under easily.
Yeah, probably.
I think there's a world in
Okay.
which he's not on the team by the end of the season.
Okay,
He
I'm just
literally
saying,
would have to.
This is the only way you can look dumb both times.
Twice, and I'm willing to take that risk.
He's gotten better, but the worry is this: like the world in which he gets better, I don't think LAFC gets better with him. Like in order for it to work out for both,
Let's not go to that dark
yeah,
place.
I don't think it. I just don't think it does.
Do you think the reason Griezmann now wants to come to LAFC again is because Giroud's gotten 17 touches on the ball each game?
Yeah, he's has like he's like a little clicker, and he's just been tallying them up.
If Giroud doesn't touch the ball, I'm not coming, and I won't come for Steve Cherundolo. Now
Which
that he's
brings
out,
us
I'll
to-
consider it.
Which brings us to our final prediction that was made that we can end on, which is that Vince did say when we were discussing what will happen with Dolo, specifically, if Dolo is gone, it will be on his own terms.
And then it'll happen at the end of the season. Yeah.
Two huge wins for Vince in this review.
I will say, Vince, there's a world in which he's out before that. It's possible still they're like, okay, we're good.
We did talk about that. There is, and that's an intriguing storyline, is this does provide some cover if, in fact, things do go wrong. And in the summertime, certain coaches are available and they're just feeling like it's the best for both parties. I generally think that both sides feel really good about this despite the timing of it. So I'd say it's a low chance, but it's higher than if there was no announcement. I think, like I said, this provides some cover and some way to save face for both sides. But look, Steve knows that I am a beautiful football mind and a soccer genius, and he's just making me look really good. And that's all there is to it.
Wow.
I mean, we have a clip of him saying that.
We do.
It's real, 100% real. Had nothing to do with me beating him in a game and making him do it. Don't watch the very end either when what he says after he says that. We're good.
What does he say after that?
Actually, I don't think he says anything. We had whiteboards, and then he wrote "classic burn," not with some exclamation points. It actually was really funny.
He did the 90s not.
Yeah, it was really. I will say, I'm kind of making it sound like it wasn't funny, but at the time, it was really funny.
Wow.
Well played.
It's crazy. I'm
All
so
right.
thankful that LAFC pays us to do this show. It's really nice. When I'm so happy to carry water for the team because they give us a weekly Bitcoin check, so they can't see. And the LAFC,
And it is so
weekly
weird that we
LAFC
did
coin.
talk about it before it happened. Like, how did we know?
Right.
How could we have known? Think
I
about
can't
it.
hear you. I'm covered in all this Ollie coin.
We finally talked shit about Steve Cherundolo, and then he's gone. They must have told us we're allowed to. We exist. We're a psyop for the team.
Yeah.
FL Gate.
Think about all that money you're spending on LAFC gold. Where does that go? Right in our pockets.
Cruz Azul just scored. So it's looking like Cruz Azul because now Tigres needs 2 goals to get back.
Wow.
All right, that's our Q1 review. When we come back, we're going to make some bets.